Welcome back in, everybody. This is Pro Football Enterprises. As you see on the logo down at the bottom of the screen, I am Ben Parker, and it is a privilege to have all of you on board with us. We are working our way through as many prospects as we can. If I could, listen, if I had the time, I have to work a full-time freaking job, and so does Shane, and so do Austin, and we have families. If we could, we would give y'all 20 prospects a week, all right? We just don't have that kind of time, but we're turning out as many as we can, some that we expect to be way high up and some that we don't. But a lot of you enjoy that. You enjoy the, hey, here's the obscure guy that may be at a different level. Here's the great guy. And you get three different opinions. We do not, and I repeat this, we do not sit around and homogenize this opinion and try to come up with one consensus opinion. All right, so you're getting three different looks at it here from three different guys. And I will give a shout out to Simon Short. He has the Simon Short and Friends podcast. I also once a month get together with him and we'll go through one position group. All right. Just maybe the top 10 or 12 guys, top 14 guys at a position group. So that's on Apple and Spotify. It's the Simon Short Friends podcast once a month. He does it every week. I'm on there once a month for the draft picks. So coming up, we're fixing to do about 12 to 14 skill position group guys. Okay. So go check that out. All right. If you like more of the draft stuff. But tonight we are covering CJ Baxter, running back from Texas. He is 6'1". He is 225 pounds. He has 23 numbers because he got injured right at the start of 24. I think he either had one snap or something like that. It was really, really small. But his 23 numbers were 138 carries, 659 rushing yards, 4.8 yards per carry, five touchdowns, 24 catches, and 156 receiving yards. His 25 numbers, again, these will change: 24 carries, 110 rushing yards, 4.6 yards per carry, and no touchdowns. Obviously, I don't feel as high on this guy as some of the other good running backs we've talked about, but we are going to talk about CJ tonight. Austin, I think we'll start with you here, man. Give us the lowdown on CJ Baxter.
CJ to me is sort of the modern day running back prototype, not necessarily the finished product, but he is got the frame and sort of the baseline that you need, or that a lot of modern teams are looking for. He has sort of that size that a lot of teams really like nowadays, and he has the ability to catch the ball out of the backfield with size. I think is something that a lot of teams really love. So I think his ability to kind of garner a third down role at least in a league are there. And one thing I think he does exceptionally well is sort of pick a lane and just hit it. I don't really love his ability to make guys miss out in open space. I don't really think he's a big bruiser, despite his size. He's not someone I think is going to wear down a defense and then sort of just kind of overpower them at the in the fourth quarter when he's been running the ball his 18th 20th carry and eventually they're just going to give. I don't think he's that kind of guy either. I think he is just one of these. I don't want to call him average, but he is steady, consistent. He will find the yards that are there, usually not many more than that, and he will do it consistently, which I think is a really important thing. I think he's a guy who will have a job in the NFL for a long time if he's able to continue this sort of production that we're seeing out of him now into the NFL. I am worried a little bit about the injury. I think some of the lack of explosiveness could also be injury related. Not everybody reacts to a knee injury differently, and it's not like I saw a bunch of it beforehand. The 2023 film, which I didn't really watch much of, but I think he is someone who I hope can recover from this knee injury. He's still very young as well. That's something
Right.
I definitely want to acknowledge, and he definitely could mature very well and develop and become a lot more explosive. But I think I really love just sort of the baseline we get from CJ Baxter, and I would really like to have him on my football team. Not as some highly touted guy who I'm wanting to, give the ball to 20 times a game, but if he can be your, you know, David Montgomery to your whoever, your whether it's like a Gibbs in Detroit or your Achan in Miami, if he can be your sort of 1B or just solid two, I think he's going to really excel and have has the potential to have a really good career. I think I do really like the player.
Very good work, Austin. Shane, take it away, man.
But I think the big thing, like Austin said, is prototypical build for what you're looking for of an NFL running back right now. The problem has been is that with the injuries and with some other things, he hasn't been able to take that prototype body and fulfill some of those, high hopes that everyone's had for him before. Um, I think, like Austin said, he has some traits that you see where you go, maybe one more year, let his body mature, let his decision making mature, and then that 5 yard gain turns into a 35-yard touchdown run. Um, it's not a case where he doesn't meet the talent that's around him. I think you can see in a lot of these games where he has that level of skill. He still looks to be a bit off from the knee injury, as Austin said. I'm not sure, as already been mentioned. Anytime everybody heals at a different rate, everybody sees things a little bit differently after coming off that. So I think he can reach the level that Austin mentioned, where he's not. I don't think he's going to ever be your home run hitter. I don't think he's ever going to be the guy where you go, "This is who we put the saddle on, and we're going to ride him to get us a win." But I think that he would be a great additional back to whatever back you have as your number one, as Austin said. He can play the physical role. He's fast enough where he can be an outside guy for you. He's dynamic enough to where he can fill a lot of those third down needs for you as well. I think this year has also hurt him, high level standards for what this Texas offense was supposed to be with Arch Manning and everything else going on. And you look at the way Texas has played, and there's serious concerns all around in the program about how that offense is downgraded this year. So I think he also gets dropped in that. He's another guy, as Austin and I have mentioned in a lot of these breakdowns, where his physical traits at the combine are going to be scary. And when he gets a chance to demonstrate, I think that he'll also show up as well, which will help him. But I think with the lower numbers he's had, the injury history, he's going to be a guy that's going to be one of those third or later guys that's going to get into camp and have to demonstrate where he's going to get his position.
Yeah, excellent work, Shane. And I should have mentioned, I'm sure somebody in the audience is kind of yelling at us. What we already know, we just haven't mentioned that he's had another injury this year. So I think he hurt himself
Hamstring.
in the
Hamstring,
UTEP
yeah.
game, yeah, and hasn't come back yet since the UTEP game. So that's one reason why his numbers are low. It's again, it's not unusual to see a drop one year over the next, but again, he's just hasn't been on the field the whole time either. So just keep an eye on that as well. All right, here comes my notes. Then we'll get final thoughts from both Shane and Austin. Missed almost all of 24. I mentioned that. I watched almost all of his 23 tape, and then I watched his Ohio State game earlier this year. He is physical. He's not dominant, but he is physical. He likes banging. He likes hitting people. He enjoys that. But it's not like he's breaking tackles and overwhelming people and all that. He is a physical runner, so I do like that. Patient, looking for holes. He's very patient. He will look for that hole. He will wait for his offensive lineman to develop that. So I like that. Does not seem super elusive or electric at the line. Y'all already mentioned that. He's just not. That's just not his style. Even at 23, before the injury, he just wasn't super elusive or explosive. Just didn't see that at the line of scrimmage. Again, patient runner, has some physicality to him. He's not slow, but again, just not that electric burst that you would see from an Omarion Hampton, right? Or from an Ashton Jonty, that little explosion, right? Haven't seen that even on the 23 tape. It's just not there. Um, good vision. I do like the vision. He's not only patient. You see that's a great combination that you see commonly. If a runner has one, they often have the other. A lot of times, the guys who are patient also have good vision to go with it. Seems to be a hand in hand blessing for some of those guys. So I like the vision. he has good cutback and kick out moves. He's not so much of a shake and bait guy. Again, he's not electric, but he does have a nice cutback. Again, that's part of the vision thing. He sees the hole is over here, and he's good at cutting back to that hole. And he's also got a nice kick out move. Again, it's not an electric, but he can kick out if he's getting stopped at the line. He can kick out to the other side of the tackle spot as well. So that's helping him be productive. I do like those moves as well. Uh, North South runner. He's not gonna dance around. This guy's all business. This guy, once he picks his spot, he's going to go straight. He's not going to dance around. So the North South runner all the way. I like the blocking. What little I've seen of it, there wasn't a lot to see, to be honest. But what little I've seen, I liked the blocking. He seemed to have his technique down. He actually seems he is young. He seems very mature for his age. I noticed even back in 23, some of the things that he was doing, he just seems very mature. So I liked that about him. He seemed like a very mature, responsible kind of guy, pays attention to detail. I like that. Good hands, simple routes. I mean, nothing to write home about there. He will catch the football and he will run a couple of routes for you. So I like that. Good looking runner, just not top speed explosiveness. So Austin, you mentioned it. I like this guy. I want him on my football team. He can come play for me anytime for as long as he wants to. I'm just not going to draft him in the first 2 rounds, okay? Unless I see more. I'm thinking kind of probably mid third, fourth round, third round, fourth round is kind of where I'm at. I'm not sure I really want him in the top 75 picks at this point. Again, unless he shows me something else, this is a heck of a player. I really do like him. I want him, but it's just limited in terms of that high end talent slash explosiveness slash athleticism, whatever that we're all looking for in that first round top 50 picks. So that's where I'm at the moment, probably mid third round, give or take a few picks. Let's go back to Austin and then we'll get Shane. Austin?
Yeah, I hope he doesn't come out after this year. I really want to see
Yeah.
him healthy and able to really give the league a good look before he comes out into the draft. And maybe he blows up and has a monster second half of this season. And maybe that's what that if that he does that, that would be reason to go into the draft. But
Mm-hmm.
assuming that's not going to happen because this Texas team doesn't look like it's ready for that to happen, and maybe he could be the spark that sends it off. But I want to see him back playing in the 2026 college football season, and I want to see him, healthy, confident in his knee and just health in general. And I want to see him, break that, 5.5 yards per carry that we should see out of a, college running back of his caliber.
Right.
And if we see that, then I would be comfortable going up and getting him in like the second round of the following draft. But if he were to declare this year, he is not someone I would take in the first 2 days. He's a fourth round draft pick right now. I think best case scenario. And I think there's a lot to like about, like I said, the frame. And from what I've heard, he is a very good leader there in that locker room. I hear a lot of people talk highly about him in terms of character and things like that. So that's obviously good. But like, man, if you can't get 5 yards per carry in college, like that's just it's usually not going to work out for you. So I am a little trepidatious, but I do see the outline, the mold that could lend him to being a really solid NFL player someday.
Austin, that's very good about the what you've heard about him being a leader in the locker room because that matches the maturity that I think I'm seeing on the football field even back in
Mhm.
23. It does seem like he's that kind of person, but we're drafting for players who can play, not just great leaders. So
Everybody
we
except
need
the Texans, actually. The
yeah.
Texans.
Oh man, Houston catching a stray here from Austin. All right, Shade, your final thoughts, man.
I I agree with Austin on the fact that I'd like to see him come back for another year. I don't think he's had the ability to show what he can put together in any season, even early on what we saw from him before. The other thing I would worry about him is his medicals are going to be terrible at the NFL draft. Some serious injuries plus like those run of the mill injuries where if you didn't have a big one, they would probably just scan over that. But every team is going to want to have a doctor look over him. I think that puts him, if he comes out this year, 4 to 6 in the round. Like Austin said, I think he's a day 2 guy. I do think that if you get him in your program, he's going to be able to help you right away, though. Maturity wise, knowledge, I think he'll do whatever you ask him to do. He would be like one of those guys, I would think, say like Kansas City picks him up, where you didn't really think that he would have great numbers, but then all of a sudden you have a coach that believes in him and finds out exactly what he's great at, and then he can have some good numbers. But I think it's going to take a coaching staff and a club that has a real idea of what they're looking for out of him. Because if he can't get healthy after this year, I don't think he has any traits right now that just jump out at you where you can just go, okay, I'm just going to ask him to do this and only this for the team.
And it's a great point about the medicals because, yeah, if he finishes this year either not playing much or just kind of banged up, that's going to drag him way farther down than, that mid third, early fourth that I'm talking about. So, yeah, great point there. My final thought on CJ here. He's a guy that when I watch him live, I just absolutely love. It's when I go back and look at the tape, I'm like, well, where's the speed? Where's the explosiveness? Where's that top end stuff? It's really not there. And then you look at the numbers, Austin, as you mentioned, we're just not crossing that 5.5 yard per carry mark either that we want to see out of some of these guys. So that is CJ Baxter. We all like him. We all want to draft him, but at the moment, looks like it's going to be fourth round, fifth round, somewhere in there, give or take, depending on who we are and what team we're drafting for. All right, everybody, thank y'all so much for watching. We've got tons more draft prospects on here, a whole bunch, so go check them out. This is CJ Baxter. I'm Ben Parker. That's Shane Ratliff, and that's Austin Freed. Y'all have a great one. Goodbye.